presentation today on technology in the supply chain. Today is the first in our three-part series on warehouse management and you. The presentation today is sponsored by SWK Technologies and the Northern Colorado APICS chapter. To start with today, I will be speaking with you on two slides. One on SWK Technologies, about who we are, what we do. Then we'll drive down and start our briefing about automated warehouses in you. SWK has three corporate offices, one located in New Jersey as the mothership, I guess I should say. We were founded in 1986 and we have been in business for over 25 years. We have satellite offices and workers between New Jersey and California. Over the years, SWK has become a one-stop shop as a reseller of the top enterprise business solutions in the industry. We provide network services and software development. We're not only able to provide the software and network continuity for our customers, we're able to customize and enhance any of our solutions. Plus, we have our own channel of resellers that sell our products. Our presenter today, to kick off our Technology in the Supply Chain series, is Chris Barnes with Accellos. Chris Barnes has over 20 years experience in the industry. He's an accomplished speaker and he has authored numerous articles and white papers. We're honored to have him with us today, and I'll now pass this presentation over to Chris to start off. Thank you very much. Also, I would like to remind the audience, we will do questions at the end of our presentation today. Everyone is on mute. If you do have a question, please throw it in your chat box.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yep.
This is Chris Barnes, and everybody, you can see my screen, at least on the staff side.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Again, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I'm with Accellos, a sales engineer, and have been actively involved with APICS. I know we have quite a few APICS members or people that are familiar with APICS on the call, so I'm glad to see that. But in this session, we'll review business drivers for technology in the warehouse and types of technology you can consider, but in particular, a warehouse management system, or we'll use the acronym WMS. In the mid-90s to mid-2000s, WMS was considered a competitive advantage. Now WMS is considered by some to almost be a cost of doing business. The question is, if you're not using WMS, what are you missing out on? And as a small to medium-sized business, which I'm making the assumption that most listeners are in, you have a unique supply chain management challenges facing you. And we'll talk about some of those next. In most small to medium-sized businesses, or again, I'll use an acronym SMB, there is daily pressure to do whatever it takes to win new business. Company leadership is generally focused on top-line growth, with operational efficiency being an afterthought, if a thought at all. They know stuff needs to get done and orders need to get shipped so they can bill. There's very little attention to back-end operations, which results in pressures on the operational side. Typically, in an SMB, you lack supply chain power. Your customers are larger and more sophisticated and have more complex supply chains. And unless you're fortunate enough to be in a collaborative partnership with your customers, you're generally only able to react to their requirements rather than plan for change. And unless you have the hottest product on the market, your customer's business is more important to you than your business is to them. It's just a reality of doing business. And you have fewer resources than your partners. While larger companies may have dedicated supply chain practitioners and teams assigned to specific projects, SMB organizations typically have resources wearing multiple hats. And referring back to the first point, in a do-what-it-takes-to-win business organization, resources will frequently jump from project to project based on what is the hottest topic. So we understand you have challenges. Next, we will cover a few key drivers we also see adding complexity to the mid-market supply chain, and specifically the warehouse. What we see in the mid-market are 5 things driving complexity in the supply chain operations: customer compliance, new sales channels being developed, new product introductions from both new and existing channels, and more requirements for value-added services, and a greening of the supply chain. Next, I'll briefly discuss a few of these top drivers and how we can address those using technology. Typically, SMB does not have the power that larger organizations do, as I referenced earlier. For example, shipping to a large retailer, they may dictate how product needs to be shipped, labeled, and when it will arrive. As mentioned earlier, doing business with them is more important to you than them doing business with you. Customers are asking suppliers to do more in their warehouses to help them improve their operational efficiencies and streamline the customer supply chain. Many times, this is more to do about them improving their operations than you improving yours. When looking at satisfying compliance demands, you should think more broadly about how you're solving these issues rather than firefighting specific requirements. For example, you could get a point solution to help you satisfy a Walmart-specific request, but what happens when Target or Amazon comes in with another request? Will your solution be flexible enough to handle this future new request? The key to remember is the only constant is change, and the solutions you implement should be flexible. New sales channels are driving operational complexities. Everyone is buying goods in different ways today, whether it's online purchases shipped to your home or online purchases pick up at the store. Technology is affecting the way consumers do business. This can be a huge growth driver for your business, and your management team will probably be excited about the new opportunities. One of the core challenges is in dealing with this for companies who have been focused on shipping to other DCs via cases or pallets. Now your requirements might be shipping eaches direct to consumers via a pick-pack operation. The question is, how can you fulfill multiple channels from the same inventory in the same facility? It is important to have flexible systems and processes in place to satisfy fulfilling multiple channel distribution. These are examples of the types of channels you might serve, and each can have a different order profile, which will drive your operational setup and picking requirements. Wholesale distribution is the traditional shipping process from a manufacturing location or aggregator to stores or store distribution centers. Facilities and processes are typically designed around handling pallets and cases. Direct-to-consumer e-fulfillment, or B2C, is driving a change to smaller, more frequent orders. The result is a need to pick and ship more orders in the same space and time frame as larger orders. This typically costs more, resulting in lower margins, but is often a necessary part of doing business. Order lines are typically 1 to 3 lines per order and shipped via parcel. Retail replenishment can be a combination of a large volume of small parcel and pallet shipments to a specific store. Spare parts business is also growing. You may ship out large pallets of equipment, but need to satisfy aftermarket service parts. Orders are placed sporadically, making it difficult to forecast, and volumes are low. Material handling is typically designed around shipping small line items via parcel shipments. Consignment, while not having any unique order profiles or handling characteristics, requires system flexibilities to store and process non-company owned inventory. Export requirements are driving a need to prepare shipments in specific ways and provide specific shipping documentation. This adds complexity to the shipping process and sometimes the picking process. And a growing order type is the drop ship. Your customer takes the order from the consumer, passes the order on to you, and expects you to satisfy the order directly to the consumer on their behalf. This requires you being able to respond to the order request within a specific time frame, then pick, pack, and ship the order in a specific time. This is typically also requires creating and inserting a customer-specific pack slip to make the shipment look like it's coming direct from the trading partner. You become an anonymous third party. Unless something goes wrong with the shipment, then the order becomes a cost versus a revenue generator for you. While this is primarily seen in the retail industry, today it is growing in the overall wholesale distributor market as well. Using technology in the warehouse will help you enable logistics strategies and improve core functions to help better service growing and changing customer requirements while addressing the issues we discussed earlier. Using WMS will also provide measurable hard dollar benefits, which should get the attention of management. There are many tangible benefits you should expect from implementing and using WMS, but at a high level, I would expect you could see a 10 to 30% improvement in labor productivity, 99+% inventory record accuracies, and 99+% customer service levels. All of these things should get the attention of your managers and ownership. There are various levels of WMS technology you can implement, things ranging from solutions to track inventory, support core warehouse processes, and then support the extended warehouse operations. Next, we will discuss some of the building blocks to automating your warehouse. The basic technology level of inventory tracking in the warehouse is a simple stock locator system. This can be a database where you manually record where you put inventory, or it can be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet. The benefit is you have a general idea of where inventory is. You just have a lot of manual effort to maintain data integrity. To help alleviate some of the manual effort, you can add radio frequency data collection to the mix. This will help streamline the data entry process and potentially speed things up. But if your processes are not optimized, you could end up doing the wrong things, only faster. A key benefit and an enabler to an automated warehouse is a solid synchronization between material flow and data flow. As soon as an item is moved or changed, the system should be updated to reflect the change. Obviously, real-time data collection is key to making this happen. With RF data collection and effective bin management, in the form of a locator system, you can begin to implement rules-based strategies. With this type of technology, you can begin to optimize product storage. For example, hazmat items, temperature-controlled items, and high-value items may have specific storage zones. The next building block is to begin to re-engineer your core processes and enable the WMS to help support and improve these processes. You'll be able to begin implementing other best practices such as cross-docking, containerization, cycle counting, and wave and allocations management. Allocation is the process of confirming inventory is available in the correct pack sizes and reserved for specific orders prior to the orders being released for picking. A key productivity killer in the warehouse results when an operator goes to a location to perform a pick and there is not enough product in that location for the operator to complete the task. On average, it takes 4 times as long to pick a product that is not there than to pick the product from a location with enough inventory. Needless to say, allocation is critical because sometimes you just don't want to run out of inventory. Wave management helps balance the workflow across the facility and optimize operational bottlenecks. Waving is the process of grouping orders together by characteristics, then releasing those orders to the warehouse for picking. This generally makes processing orders more manageable and helps meet shipping deadlines, resulting in improved customer service levels. You will also be able to benefit from flexible picking strategies, but what exactly does this mean? One example is to have systems that provide or support different picking processes as needed. For example, every facility should be able to pick one order at a time until complete. This is a common simple form of picking known as discrete pick, which probably everyone in the warehouse is doing today. A more advanced concept is cluster picking. This allows one operator to pick multiple orders on a pick tour. This helps reduce the overall travel time per pick and can be used when you have multiple small few line item orders similar to drop ships or e-fulfillment orders. We'll talk about this again briefly. Zone picking is a pick style that divides the warehouse up into small storage and pick sections to keep operators concentrated in those specific zones. Zone picking can be used with pick-to-light or conveyor automation. Depending on the layout and flow, you may also hear this referred to as pick and pass. And batch picking is another approach to reduce operator travel by aggregating picks into a group or batch, picking all the inventory together, then sorting or doing a secondary pick to specific orders, for example, at a pack station. This is another pick style that fits well with multiple small line item orders. The theme is to remove pick travel time. As discussed earlier, with cluster picking, you can pick multiple orders concurrently, resulting in reduced total travel time per pick tour. The main concept is being able to pick inventory into multiple orders while you're standing in front of one pick bin. Here's an example from one of our customers doing an 18-order cluster pick. Notice they make use of standard carton sizes for the order types, pre-build the cartons, then assign a carton label to each carton for identification purposes before going out on the pick tour. Flexibility can also be applied in the shipping process. For example, if you have an integrated shipping system, you can print shipping labels in advance of the pick, apply the label to the shipping carton, pick the order, then stage the carton for shipment. This works well when you have item dimensional and weight data and are shipping small line item numbers, especially single line item type of orders. With this approach, you could almost eliminate the need for dedicated shipping stations. Alternatively, at the other extreme, you can pick to a shipper or tote, repack and weigh the carton at a pack station, print the shipping labels and documentation, then stage the order for shipping. Which process you use will depend on many factors including order types, layout, and data availability. The key point is to have flexible systems in place to have the option to ship the way you need to ship. A key factor when implementing technology in the warehouse is system integration. You should look for a solution that is easily integrated into your existing ERP system. If possible, find a WMS with a proven and repeatable integration, or at least a standard integration toolkit. For example, Axelos One Warehouse has standard integrations into many leading ERP solutions, including Microsoft, SAP, Sage, and NetSuite. A solid integration helps maintain data integrity for operational management and financial planning purposes. With an automated and integrated warehouse, you will have access to a significant amount of data. Effectively accessing and reporting on the data can turn the data into information that will allow you to, at a minimum, respond to changes, and at a maximum, be proactive in managing operational change. For example, the Axelos One platform offers Axelos One Pulse. Pulse creates web-based KPIs based on data and from potentially multiple sources, including your ERP system. With this data, you can tailor an operational dashboard to your company, use pivot tables to drill down into data, and generate alerts. Finally, any technology consideration should include a cloud strategy. As bandwidth and connection stability continues to grow, hosted or cloud deployed solutions are growing in popularity. Cloud deployment offers significant potential benefits to mid-market companies, including shared IT costs, rapid deployment options, the ability to flex your operations, and a reduced need for specialized IT skills and resources. Financially, cloud deployed solutions also allow your company to move from a large capital expenditure mindset to a spread out monthly investment that scales to meet your needs. This should give you an idea of the driving forces in the market and the challenges you're facing, and some possible solutions to help improve your warehouse performance and meet growing customer demands. Next, I'm going to hand it over to David from SWK, who will do a brief demonstration with the Axelos One warehouse solution.
Thank you, Chris. So as Chris pointed out, there is many different options and features in Axelos WMS. Today I'm just going to show some very basic functionality. I'm going to receive an order through a handheld, and I will pick an order. Actually, I'll pick two orders. The Axelos platform runs in the Internet Explorer, so it is easily deployed on workstations. It is built on technology that is similar to what you'd find in Microsoft Office, so training users on how to use the software is relatively easy. There are different work centers, so here I'm showing a receipt work center, and I have created a purchase order that I'm planning on receiving today down over here. So if I click on this one purchase order, I can drill into just that, and on the bottom I can take a look at the lines on this purchase order. So I have two lines on this purchase order, an AM/FM stereo and some speakers. I ordered 100 of the AM/FM stereo and 50 of the speakers. So I'm going to go over to a web handheld. And I will log back in again. And this is what you would see on an RF handheld device. So I'm just showing this information on my screen just to make it easy. I'm going to select receiving. I'm going to do regular receiving. And just to make life easy, I'll search for a PO that has 19 in it. And the warehouse finds it very easily. And I will confirm that that's the one I want. So there's my order, 2 lines. Now, one of the things I could also be doing here, if I received a container worth of product and I had several POs that I wanted to receive, I could actually do a wave receipt and have all of those POs loaded in here at the same time. Once I have all the POs I'm planning on receiving loaded, I can start, and then I can either scan a product. There's many different ways to cross-reference the product. So the product could be the vendor's barcode, it could be a UPC code. I can just go ahead and press return and see a list of the products on the PO. That's the description, that's the item codes and the descriptions, which are the same in this case. All right, so that's actually the description, and that's the item code. So I'm going to pick the AM/FM stereo. And the next thing the system is asking me for is, what is my quantity per pack? So when I'm moving product around the warehouse, if I have items that are packed, that I'm storing in eaches, so maybe I have 4 AM/FM stereos in a box, it makes it easier for me to move product and put it away if I have it packed in the size that it is received in. So in this case, I said packs, quantity per pack 4, so therefore if I received all of the product, there would be 25 boxes in front of me. I can count my 25 boxes, confirm that that's correct, and then if I needed to, print case labels, internal stocking labels to put on that product before I put it away. The next thing I'd have to do is put it in some location in the warehouse. Here I'm going to put it in directly into a pick location of A100. Finish receiving that product, go on to my next product, my speakers. So let's say there were 2 speakers in a box, and 25 boxes of speakers therefore. I'll skip printing the labels, and I'll also put this in the same location. From there I can complete my purchase order, and that would send it off to my ERP system for processing and updating of the ERP. The next thing we can take a look at is another work center, is the inventory work center, which then shows me all of the different products that I have in the warehouse and the locations they're at. I can also drill into a log of what has happened with that product, and one of the things, one of the added benefits of having a WMS is accountability, that every single movement, scan, receipt, shipment of a product is logged to the user who did it, so that if there are problems, they can be traced back to individuals and corrective action can be taken either through retraining or, if necessary, termination of the employee who continues to fail in their responsibilities. I'm going to go now over to my order work center, and you can see I have many different orders in my system. Now, one of the biggest challenges that warehouses face, especially in the growing .com era, is they're getting more and more orders, and being able to sort and organize the data that's in front of them becomes increasingly challenging. I've seen many warehouses where the first thing they do, they get in very, very early in the morning and they have a stack of paper picking tickets in front of them, and they're sorting them out into different piles so that they can organize what's going to happen and what's going to be taken care of first, second, and third. With a WMS, I have the ability to create many different pivot grids, pivot charts, so that I can start organizing my information without actually having to sort paper. So right over here, I have this showing me orders by ship via. What are my COD orders, mail, UPS Blue? So maybe the first thing I want to do is deal with my UPS red orders. Or I can come in and say, okay, what orders are scheduled to be shipped on any given date? So I have some old data in the system, but I have from today, these orders are supposed to ship today, and this might show future orders as well. I can also come in and say, what are my new orders? What orders did I just get in my system? So in the morning, you can come in and say, okay, I just got 500 new orders. They all came in this morning, and these are the unallocated orders I haven't worked with yet, and then I can start working with just the new orders. Right now, I'm going to go into an order that I already had staged in my system that's in a status of called held replenishment. So in this case, I have stock in my warehouse, but I have dedicated pick locations for this particular order. And at the moment, there's not enough stock in my dedicated locations for this order to be filled. So the system has generated a replenishment request so that somebody can go out with a handheld and actually go and replenish my pick bins before I actually pick the order. So once again, I need to go to my handheld, and I'm going to go into a function called let down stock, which is saying I'm going to take the stock that's in my overstock locations and let it down so that it can be filled into the bins. And I'll just do it by group. And I'll say my first bulk bin is C. And then it's taking me to saying go to bin C100, where there are currently 50 packs of product. And you need right now to fill this order 3 packs. So I'm going to take the 3 packs that I need. I'm going to tell the system I took 3. And then it's going to break it down into units so that I can actually pick the units. So now I have 6 units to pick. And then in this case, I'm doing 2 steps. So maybe there's somebody who's driving through a section of the warehouse on a forklift, pulling product down to the floor so that somebody else can come by and do a fill bin and then pick up that product. Now I'm going to have to make sure I get the correct. It's AM, FM stereo, AM / FM stereo. No, I didn't get it right. No, I'm sorry, it was stereo CD. What was it? It was stereo CD package. Yes, that's the one. Stereo CD. Package. Normally you would be scanning this, not having to type it in and remember it. So, C stereo / CD PCKGE. There we go. So now it's saying that there are 6 pieces. How many am I actually going to take? I'll take all 6 of them. And then I have to put them into a bin. So my dedicated bins are F location bins. So I don't know that actually, I think it's F100. F100. Pick bin F. I didn't create the bin. All right, I'm stuck here. I'm going to have to go on. I'll do something different, but from here I would put the product into the bin. I can do something different to put it away. I forgot to create the bin. Let me create it. Actually, I know why. All right. STER. I'm going to put it in A bin. So there, I put it in a different location in the warehouse. I had originally planned on picking it out of F, but I didn't do enough setup to go out of F. So now I can come back to my order work center, and then I can reallocate this order now. And say I'm going to pick it from zone A because I had originally planned on zone F. And now my order should be ready to wave. Let's click into this order. You can see my order lines. Drag it up. Okay. So this order is ready to waive. So now I've gotten one order, and again, normally I wouldn't be just working with one order, I'd be working with many. I can wave this order out to the floor and do a discrete pick on it. And the system has set up different labels for me to be able to pick into. So the first label is 100018. So I go back to my handheld. I have my shipping. It could be my UPS shipping label, my FedEx shipping label. It could be an internal label. And I can go down and I can pick my product. All zones, all bins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 8. My order is now scanned into my handheld. I can start. And now the system is telling the operator, please go to bin A100 and verify that you have the right product here. So I'm going to pick my stereo product, scan that product in, and now it's saying how many of these, what carton am I putting this into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18. And how many am I putting into that carton? So maybe I'm putting all 5 into that carton. I don't know if they fit, but I can print multiple cartons, and now I have completed the pick on that, and I would go on to the next pick. So with that, that's a brief overview of receiving and picking product, using a replenishment, having to refill the pick locations. And then that would be the process throughout the warehouse all day long, right? Replenish my bins, pick the product out of the bins, do another replenishment, another wave, pick another pick, and so on and so on. So with that, I am going to turn this back to Kelly.
Thank you, David. Great job. Thank you, Chris, very much. You both did a great job with your presentation. I really appreciate it. As we're wrapping up here today, we did get quite a few questions through our chat, and I'll let Brian run through those. In the meantime, again, my name is Kelly Meyer with SWK Technologies. I'm a sales executive with the organization. And Chris Barnes, he is with Accellos, and he was the one walking you through the best practices presentation today. David Horowitz was our demo presenter. Let's see, Brian, what were some of the questions that have come through on chat? And I'll go ahead and let you ask away.
Sure, you bet. Okay, and if anyone else has any fresh questions as we're going through these, go ahead and type them into the chat or the questions section. One of the questions that came through was, says, I'm wondering, what is your opinion on EDI? I think that means, does EDI integrate with Accellos or other WMS systems?
So yeah, I'll take that question. This is David.
Sure.
One of the great advantages that we have with Accellos WMS and the Sage platform is we have a very tightly integrated system with EDI, and we typically can save organizations many, many hours in work, because what's happening in the warehouse is that we are essentially creating the ASNs. We're able to print the compliance labels right at the warehouse as we